I'll just be here. We'll have a peaceful morning.
Oh, sorry.
No. David.
For him to do the impossible. We wait for him to give us the desires of our heart.
Good morning.
Because if he does, then he is most.
Good morning.
Hi, Pila.
He does.
Hi, Pila.
Okay,
If he
I'm here. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Great Spirit, Sangwayadism, Sky Mother, you who move as creation unfolding, the path of your idealizing, the three-dimensional manifestation of your compassion. We know as Sangwayadism, the great way of peace. We gather around a virtual fire today, like the pause between the intake and outtake of breath, to acknowledge the passion, the purity, the power of peace. Peace that comes through embeddedness in all our relations. May we find that way again in the example of Avon Mattison, a being of light and truth and purpose, whose only desire is that we see this way, this brilliant pathway to the stars, to our own inner I, inner truth, inner we. For the reality of this way, we give thanks. For Avon Mattison, we give thanks. Sangwayadism, Yawak Go, Skanak Goa, purity, power, place of peace. May each person in this circle be conscious of a moment now in the truth of peace. All my relations.
Thank you, Apila. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison, and I want to welcome you to this very special session that's co-developed and sponsored by Humanity Rising, We the World, and 11 Days of Global Unity. It was 20 years ago today that Al-Qaeda, under the direction of Osama bin Laden, launched an attack on the United States that hit and took out the 2 World Trade Towers in Manhattan, crashed a plane into the Pentagon, and another airplane that was headed for either the White House or the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., was crash landed in Pennsylvania. That act shook the world and launched invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and the beginnings of the war on terror, and the beginnings of the national security state, the implications of which, the reverberations of which, are still with us today. So it is with a somber but joyful attitude that we open this session today. And for the next 11 days in this partnership, Humanity Rising and We the World in 11 Days of Global Unity, in conjunction with organizations and partners worldwide, are going to be consecrating this time with a series of 11 sessions culminating on the 21st of September and the International Day of Peace, with how we transform our world. And we're going to start today, and this is why I am so joyful, with honoring a woman who has been a beacon to the world, a light in great darkness, with a purity of heart and a commitment to peace that has inspired all of us who know her, Avon Mattison. So I want to welcome everyone. I want to now turn the program over to my very good friend, Rick Olfig, who I've known for many years. He's the founder of We the World. And in 2004, right after 9/11 in 2001, he initiated these 11 days of global unity. So Rick, wonderful to be in this partnership with you. And I turn the program over to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. That's fabulous. And I want to thank not only you, Jim Garrison, but also Rick Buckley and the whole team at Humanity Rising and Ubiquity University for collaborating with We the World to broadcast this tribute to Avon Mattison and all of the 11 Days of Global Unity Summit panels. My name is Rick Olfig, and I'm the founder of We the World at we.net. And I co-created the concept of 11 Days of Global Unity with my dear friend, Troy Lush. We the World is a global coalition building organization with 11 campaigns for change, which actually developed out of the 11 Days of Global Unity. And you can take action with us by going to we.net. 40 years ago, our dear friend, Avon Mattison, was instrumental in encouraging the UN to pass the resolution establishing the International Day of Peace. 20 years ago, in 2001, the International Day of Peace was scheduled to be celebrated at the opening session of the UN General Assembly in September, as it had been every year up to that point. Unfortunately, that celebration never happened because of the terrorist attacks of 9/11. The UN permanently put the International Day of Peace on September 21st, effective from 2002 on. So at We the World, we commemorated that movement of Peace Day from September 11th to September 21st as the journey from fear to hope. And we called that span of time 11 days of global unity, a time every year that has become a convergence of festivals, conferences, rallies, broadcasts, when people and organizations worldwide demonstrate that we can come together to solve humanity's greatest challenges. Over the years, 11 campaigns for change have developed out of the 11 days of global unity. And we invite you to join Humanity Rising and We the World with all of these sessions that Jim just talked about. They're happening at this time, at this same location, each of these 11 days. The first one at 11 a.m. Eastern time and the second one at 1 p.m. Eastern time through September 21st. And you can find out more by going to we.net. And today, on September 11th, the first of those 11 themes is unity, which is appropriate as we celebrate the life and work of Avon Mattison, who has worked for unity and peace for her whole life. So thank you, and I pass the talking stick over to Karen Buckley, who will be our moderator for the rest of this tribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And Jim, thank you for that opening. That really gives us an overview of where we are today. And Apila, always your ceremonies bring me into myself. Thank you very much. An extraordinary group of peace leaders have gathered, and many more would have liked to have joined us to pay tribute to Avon Mattison for her over 4 decades of dedicated service as a peace builder. Perhaps it's falling in love with our new grandson that inspired this idea to honor Avon and her extensive work to build a world peace for generations to come. Perhaps it's simply an idea whose time has come. Today is September 11th, as we all know, a day when we watched our nation respond as one, with brave actions and a remarkable outpouring of support for the victims and their families. We saw that when we join together, we can accomplish so much. And it's fitting on this day to spend our time being inspired by the origin and evolution of Peace Day and the many people working through diverse pathways to make peace a reality through education, culture change, and far-reaching conversations. Joni Ciardelli, co-founder of Pathways to Peace, will begin with a montage of the many who've contributed to Pathways to Peace, followed by Avon, and then a diverse group of other peace builders who will share stories, memories, and reflections. I predict you'll be inspired to work for a sustainable culture of peace in your own life and community as you go through this session. Joni, let me turn it over to you.
Thank you, Karen. We wanted to take a couple of minutes to honor those who contributed to the important work of Pathways to Peace. We call them angels of Pathways to Peace because they have crossed into the angelic world, and they still support our work from that realm, from the beyond. So here is a brief look at those who have led the way, our Pathways angels. They are always guiding us and forever in our hearts. Thank you, Tammy.
The inspiration when we had the earliest discussions about the intention and also the evocation from our hearts around Avon was that we're hoping that this program and the rest of the 11 days will inspire the next generations that are coming. They need the inspiration, they need the tools, and they need to know that one person can make a difference. We get so many messages that tell us that nothing is possible. And I think if we look at Avon's life, we see that everything is possible, and that it's possible by trust and love, which Avon just radiates and brings forth in all those that she works with and touches us, and has helped create a movement that is bringing us towards world peace. So thank you, Avon.
Thank you, Rick. There's so much to be said today, and I want to make this introduction far briefer than it could be, because each of the speakers that are here today have known Avon intimately, have worked beside her and with her, and I will let the tributes speak, flesh out that mandala of all that is Avon. But I'd like to say that I am honored to introduce you to Avon Mattison. And Avon has worked locally and globally, intergenerationally and multiculturally with people of all ages. Avon has had a level of dedication and commitment to peace building and to the peace builders around the world, and a capacity to collaborate with other organizations and initiatives, lifting everyone in all of their work. Avon serves on the boards of several international organizations and, of course, has been quoted in numerous publications. Through Pathways to Peace, Avon co-created the Culture of Peace Initiative in 1984 with former UN Assistant Secretary General Robert Mueller. And this unites the strengths of over 4,000 international organizations across diverse sectors. In my personal experience, as I've watched Avon in meetings, watched her speak, watched her work behind the scenes, and been a friend and colleague, Avon radiates peace, embodies peace, and purposefully engages in peace-building conversations, whether it's in a reply to an email or a wise reflection in a conversation. Avon's real gift is that she searches for, affirms, and brings out the gifts in each one of us, in people all over the world. And then she encourages us to bring those gifts into action. She did that for me 40 years ago when I had just finished a presentation at a conference, and I walked out and my mind was caught in judgments. Avon hooked her arm in mine, and as we walked down the hall, inspired me to appreciate the gifts I brought forward that day. Avon is and has been both a visible and less visible, sometimes even invisible leader, working behind the scenes. She nudges those who are ready to take the next step, lifts those who are frustrated, extends endless appreciation, designs thoughtful, innovative strategies, and builds agreement around those strategies over time with patience and consistent work, and builds mutual respect with all those working for peace worldwide. As I said, I could go on, but instead let me introduce you all to our dear Avon Mattison. Avon.
Well, with an overflowing heart and tears, all I can say is that everyone who has spoken about me, it is true about you. And that to honor one is to honor all. And every one of you, I would love to spend the rest of this program doing nothing but honoring every single one of you and the difference that you have made in my life and how you inspire me constantly. And Apila, your opening prayer, invocation, and sacredness of bringing us into our sacred circle around the fire of the heart, the fire of Creator. And speaking of the power of peace and the truth of peace, was just so profound and perfect. And I really now, I could just go wordless except for honoring every single one of you. Yeah, as our dear brother, Chief Phil Lane says, to harm one is to harm all. To honor one is to honor all. And I'm just going to briefly say that, Jim, when you were doing your opening and talking about 9/11, I was at the UN that day, and one of the guards came to me and said, someone in the Secretary General's office needs to see you right away. And so there was a note that came across a private line that had come through and said, be prepared, the UN may be a target. And then I was instructed to go downstairs and to greet everyone who was coming for the opening day of the ringing of the peace bell for an NGO conference. And I wasn't to say anything except just to ask everyone to, in silent prayer, just say, we are this is a very special day, and we need to just stand in prayer for the protection of the United Nations and for all peoples. Anyway, memories. Yeah, this is way off what I was going to be saying, but I, as I speak, I want to live up to everything every one of you has said about me because I need to grow up into that. So may I grow up into that? And to also say that I love being behind the scenes. That's my special place to be, where I think I can be most effective. So I'm a little awkward speaking in public. When I do, I have had the privilege of mentoring and working with children in war zones. And many of them are no longer with us. They have been killed in war. So I feel as if I'm carrying them in my heart, and that I'm being asked to speak for them. So with that, I will stumble through and see if I can even read my notes. But we all follow the pathways of those who've gone before us, especially at crucial moments. Over the last thousands of years, Indigenous ones have led the way and have told us about waking up and remembering the truth of that we are just part of the ever evolving, all the relations of all circles of life. And that in the prophecies, it says that our time for mending the hoop has come. And one of the greatest inspirations to me in my 20s was a Hopi elder transmitting the Hopi prophecy to me. And so we are at a moment, speaking about 40 years ago, in relation to humanity responding to the creation of the International Day of Peace through the United Nations during a time where the world was extremely divided in the Cold War, and there was great threats of nuclear annihilation, which we are facing still today. We didn't learn our lesson. And what arose for me was that an idea that is of enduring benefit to peace within humanity and peace with our Mother Earth and all our relations comes into manifestation in various ways. These include common purpose of diverse groups in divine timing, shared vision, collaboration, and persistent dedication that occurs, which is for the benefit of all beings and future generations. So I now turn to a very brief origin of the International Day of Peace. What was so extraordinary about that 40 years ago, besides it occurring during a very divided world at the height of the Cold War, was that it was so historic in that the resolution was agreed upon unanimously by all member states who created a universal day of peace for the highest good. I would like to quote from the original resolution. Give me just a moment to go through my tears and find the screen. To devote a specific time to concentrate the efforts of the United Nations and its member states, as well as the whole of humankind, to promoting the ideals of peace and giving positive evidence of their commitment to peace in all viable ways. That's one sentence. What is so significant, it doesn't say do it this way or any other way, which would have been appropriate during the Cold War, is said in all viable ways, which allows everyone and every nation to participate to the commitment of building peace in all viable ways. Also, part of this ability of being able to speak in universal terms, which makes it so appropriate for now, is that it says to officially dedicate and observe as the International Day of Peace, that it be devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace, both within all nations, amongst all peoples. This is needed now more than ever. 40 years later, we are meeting an intersection of multiple crises that is unprecedented in human history. And on this day of 9/11, and on this 40th year commemorating the International Day of Peace, we are called to, above all differences of any kind, to recommitment to peace and to mending the sacred hoop. So just briefly to go through a little bit of the evolution. In 1982, I called our dear friend and colleague, Assistant Secretary General of the UN, Robert Mueller, and asked him what was happening on this day in 1982, which at that day happened to be September 21st. And he said, we are beginning with the traditional minute of silence at the opening of the General Assembly. So in San Francisco, we began something called that Apila referred to as the Peace Wave. It's a minute of silence, a moment of peace at noon in every time zone as a unitive act of peace to occur not only on this day, i.e. September 21st, or the opening of the General Assembly as well, but every day, making every day Peace Day. Again, above all differences of any kind. In 1983, with the support of Robert Mueller and the Secretary General, we began a series of convenings in San Francisco. This is Pathways to Peace. And everything I do is in and through Pathways to Peace and with the collaboration of people. I'm just one of many people in the Sacred Circle. So we began a series of convenings in San Francisco, birthplace of the United Nations. And we initiated a series of these monthly gatherings of all sectors of society, inclusive, diverse, intergenerational, multicultural, which culminated in the final celebration in 1984. And you see the banner for the International Day of Peace created by volunteers. And in front of that was a stage where many speakers of great diversity made presentations, including a couple of the people on our call today. This was the first local global celebration, observation of the International Day of Peace. And it was joined, this is before internet, by citizens in over 70 nations. We fast forward to a vigil that began with an indigenous ceremony at Grace Cathedral and involved people of many different traditions and faiths for peace. Then there was is showing the flag ceremony in front of City Hall that began the parade of flags. And then we began to fast forward to the Peace Wave at the Minute of Silence, Moment of Peace in San Francisco. And the leading newspaper said this was the sounds of silence that were heard around the world. And it was the first time that a Minute of Silence, Moment of Peace was broadcast by television and radio throughout the entire nation. So we fast forward now to the International Year of Peace. And this was a very special event at the United Nations headquarters, beginning with the Secretary General ringing the peace bell, which is pictured here, and by a meeting of non-governmental organizations and cities who had been involved with the International Day of Peace program since 1984. There's a photo of a delivery of a report, annual report to the United Nations that established what was happening during the entire Peace Month, with the annual highlight day being Peace Day, that showed what that organizations both in the United Nations and throughout the world were doing to honor and observe the International Day of Peace. So by the year 2000, this ever-evolving Peace Day, which began as a peace wave of 1 minute of silence, 1 moment of peace in 1982 on the International Day of Peace, and quickly evolved in 1984 to Peace Weekend, Peace Week, Peace Month. So that by the year 2000, on the annual highlight day of the International Day of Peace, where we measure our progress of humanity, of building a culture of peace, a diverse, inclusive, sustainable, regenerative culture of peace, of extraordinary diversity, that will benefit future generations. Highlight that, and on that day, making a commitment above all difference of any kind to amplifying that and rededicating ourselves again to this focus point of building, peace building, for the benefit of all our relations and to future generations. It was estimated that over 1.5 billion people participated on this day. I now close with a painting and a picture by Nicholas Roerich, who was an extraordinary peace builder, philosopher, poet, mystic, statesman. And this is the quote that will culminate this particular segment. Positive creativeness is the fundamental quality of human spirit. Let us welcome all those who, surmounting personal difficulties, propel their spirits to the task of peace building, thus ensuring a radiant future. So be it.
And Joni, I believe that you'll pick up from here. Presenting the Peace to Peace Peace Day chronology.
Sorry, I was muted. Good morning. I was co-founder with Avon of Pathways to Peace in 1983 when we became a nonprofit organization. And I'm going to move us forward related to Pathways involvement in Peace Day over almost 40 years. The 2021 United Nations Peace Day theme is Recovering Better for an Equitable and Sustainable World, the heart of which is the following: celebrate peace by standing up against acts of hate offline and online, and by spreading compassion, kindness, and hope in the face of the pandemic and as we recover. You can read the whole proclamation on the United Nations website, Recovering Better for a Sustainable Future. And Avon was at one of the annual Peace Week NGO conferences at the United Nations with Dr. Robert Mueller, who was one of the people who was instrumental in getting the UN to adopt the resolution of the International Day of Peace in 1981. Here's a photo of him and his wife, Barbara, with Avon. Going back on our work with children, that has been a focus of Pathways to Peace all along. And our biggest Marin County, California peace event ever was in 1995 as part of the 50th anniversary of the United Nations. This was on the former military parade grounds at East Fort Baker in Sausalito, California. It was the first gathering bringing together all the parties in the conversion of an army base into what we had hoped would be a peace park. The festival opened with an indigenous ceremony in a large circle of crystals. There were many international and local activities representing the 8 pathways to peace, which provide an overview of many ways we work to create peace through law, through science, through education, environment, and so on. This wheel continues to be a touchstone for Pathways to Peace, including a great diversity of intergenerational, intercultural activities. We work collaboratively with many organizations and very closely with the World Peace Prayer Society, which plants peace poles all over the world to spread "May peace prevail on earth" in all languages. Several peace poles have been planted by Pathways, including with paw prints and native languages. I last attended UN Peace Day events in 2003 in conjunction with the Share the Spirit of Peace Youth Conference, where I spoke. This series of events started at the UN with the Roots and Shoots doves brought by Dr. Jane Goodall, who you see pictured. Michael Douglas also spoke along with other peace messengers, including Muhammad Ali through his wife and Dr. Ailey Wiesel. Pathways is known for building collaborations and supporting major local and global peace events, such as the Human Race, United Nations Association, and Rotary Peace Conferences. Melvin Weiner of Pathways to Peace was in the calendar business and got Peace Day onto millions of calendars. He took it upon himself to get the word out and even swam on New Year's Day near his home in the very cold state of Maine to raise funds for this important work. Avon represented Pathways at the inception of the UN International Day of Peace and also the United Religions Initiative, the Shift Network, and many other important organizations and programs. Most recently, Pathways was a co-sponsor and participant in Unity Earth's World Unity Week. In conclusion, we encourage people worldwide to join the Peace Wave by observing a minute of silence at noon on September 21st in all time zones, and to set our intentions for what each of us will be doing to create peace over the next year. Go to the Pathways to Peace and International Day of Peace websites where you can learn more and participate and contribute to this important work. Watch for a short book that will detail much of our history and what are your intentions to create more peace in your hearts and in the world, because you are a pathway to peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni. Those images, every one of them is so inspiring. Well, I'd like now to invite a few other speakers to share historic memories of the evolution of Peace Day, the meaning it had in their lives, and how it inspired their work today. And I've given them the enormously hard task of speaking no more than a minute or two each, so that we can make sure and weave in all of the remarkable speakers that are joining us today. We'll start with Marilyn King, a Olympian, best known for being a two-time Olympian in the 5-event pentathlon, and as well as a recognized speaker and writer and a longtime peace builder. Marilyn, welcome.
Thank you so much. I am an Olympian, and in the Olympic Village, I had the experience of living in peace with people of every country, every race, religion, and political persuasion. And I came to believe that we could create a global Olympic Village if people treated one another the way we did in the village, with respect and curiosity. And then I met Avon Mattison in 1984, and I knew immediately that among all of her gifts, she had 3 great gifts, the first of which is Peace Day, perhaps the most important day of the year, where people can discover the history of peace and the presence and practices of peaceful societies. The second is the Peace Wheel, where people can learn about and how to advance the key components that are present in all peaceful societies. And the third is the Peace Wave, where, like athletes, people around the world have created daily practices for peace, where we stop, presence peace, and move into action. So Avon, I want to thank you. These are 3 great gifts to people who are already working like a team together to win the gold medal for the peace team. Thank you. You are a courageous and visionary peace pioneer. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. That was beautiful. I'd like to next introduce Fumi Johns Stewart. Fumi is the executive director of the World Peace Prayer Society and the Peace Pole Project, the peace poles that you just saw in Joni's slideshow, promoting May Peace Prevail on Earth activities worldwide. She helped establish the International Peace Pole movement and was part of opening the international headquarters of the World Peace Prayer Society in 1988. Fumi, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. I'm so privileged to be here to speak about you, Avon, and our long decades-long friendship. I'm here on behalf of Masahisa Goi, Masami Sensei, the Sayonji family, members of Byaku Shinko Kai at Fuji Sanctuary, which is spiritual home to the May Peace Prevail on Earth movement. All of us here, members around the world, supporting May Peace Prevail on Earth in spirit, is here with you to pay tribute to you, Avon. I met you, Avon, around 1985, maybe perhaps 84, through snail mail, when we were reaching out to organizations in the Bay Area, in California particularly, because we were planning to introduce for the first time our activities from Japan out to the United States. And Avon, you replied to that snail mail, and we have been friends ever since. We did successfully organize that first international World Peace flag ceremony, which was held in Los Angeles in the year 1986, which was the United Nations Year of Peace. And you were so gracious to fly down and attend that event in Los Angeles. We have great memories of that day, which started the May Peace Prevail on Earth movement in this country. So we then became incorporated in the state of New York in 1989, I believe. And Avon, you were the first, one of the first founding board of directors for the then named Society of Prayer for World Peace, which is now May Peace Prevail on Earth International. And you mentored us, guided us. You were a great friend and partner and colleague. And I'd like to say that you're godmother of May Peace Prevail on Earth activity. So thank you so much. Your spirit lives in every peace pole that has been planted around the world. And we know how humble you are. You never like to talk about yourself, but you are truly perhaps godmother of the spirit of peace around the world. So thank you so much, Avon. Thank you. Infinite gratitude. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you, Fumi. Thank you very much. Monica Willard is the next person who's going to come on. Monica is the United Religions Initiative representative to the United Nations in New York, and formerly worked with Pathways to Peace. And Monica has worked with the UN Department of Public Information on student observance for the International Day of Peace and several other UN positions. Thank you, Monica, for being here.
I am so honored to be here, and I am honored to follow Fumi because it was through the World Peace Prayer Society that the real introduction to Avon came with the children's activities around the 1995 celebration in San Francisco for the 50th anniversary of the UN. I had had the good fortune of meeting Avon before at UN events, but that event was such a call, and it was a call for Hear the Children Day that Pathways to Peace was working on that day. And September 11th, 2001 was the International Day of Peace, and people were putting out flyers for Hear the Children. And I thought so much about the years together. Having Joni at the Spirit of Peace in 2003 meant everything in reuniting Pathways because of the West Coast location. The groundwork was done by Deborah Moldau and myself with the World Peace Prayer Society and with the Ribbon International, which I represented, along with Pathways to Peace, United Religions Initiative, and Pathways to Peace, the May Peace Prevail on Earth International, and URI are still founding partners of the student observance of the International Day of Peace at the UN Avon was there to ring the first 12 noon bell with Mrs. Anand on the first student observance in 1997. We've worked together with Pathways to Peace in so many areas. But the prayer, may peace prevail on earth, has been like a staple, not just a stitch, whichever is stronger, in all of our lives, for each and every activity we do. And as we come up to the International Day of Peace this year, that was set, as Rick said before, on September 7th, 2001, the UN changed the date of the International Day of Peace so that it would be annually on September 21st, which was first celebrated International Day of Peace because it was the opening day of the General Assembly in 1982, the first year that the International Day of Peace was established. So the resolution is 40 years old this year, and may each of us pledge in our heart to pray for peace at 12 noon locally, and you're going to be able to get a Zoom link to pray for countries in every time zone of the world. We are working with Unity Earth to make this a live Zoom room starting at 6 p.m. on the 20th, when it will be 12 noon in Kiribati, and to carry the peace prayer around the world. So Avon, your spirit of peace, your godmothering of all of us, is being carried live on Zoom this year, but we need everyone to participate. So please join us and pray for peace, especially on September 21st and each day. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much. Whew. Okay, not only Avon needs to take a deep breath now, but we all do, I think. We'll continue now with some of the other speakers and a combination of speakers and video. This really shows us the importance of recognizing the behind-the-scenes leaders, all that the behind-the-scenes leaders like Avon initiate and guide and bring into significant action. All the ways that Avon, that your work has made peace a reality in our hearts, in organizations, in life, not just a hope. And while you've been recognized with other Lifetime Achievement Awards, and the breadth of your influence certainly spans your work with the United Nations and beyond, I think we'll get an even bigger picture of the work that you've done and the contribution that you've made now. So Rick, if you would cue up the Ben Bowler tribute via video. Ben is the founder of Unity Earth and World Unity Week.
Which is to honor and acknowledge a hero, a heroine, pioneer, a visionary, champion, someone who has opened portals and broken barriers and led the way against overwhelming obstacles and challenges and difficulties, and kept going and kept going and kept going, and whose life has changed reality on our planet. Someone who is beloved by us all, and someone who will live forever in the history of not only the International Day of Peace, but of the global, worldwide peace movement, whose destiny it is to be successful, to be manifest, to be fulfilled, because of the incredible tireless efforts and work of champions such as we have in this room, and such as who I have the great and distinct pleasure of acknowledging today.
Thank you, that was beautiful. I have the pleasure now of introducing some of the other speakers one by one. Rick Ulfik, you've met at the beginning, but Rick is the founder of We the World and the We campaign. And Rick has been incredibly active in developing global networks of collaboration and action to build mass involvement in the work of creating a peaceful, sustainable world. Rick, thank you for all your work. You're on mute, Rick.
Sorry about that. I'm a good Zoom citizen putting myself on mute. So yes, thank you. This has been so inspiring, and Avon, I'm so glad that people appreciate and realize the depth and length of the contributions that you have made. With your culture of peace initiative and pathways to peace, I believe you laid the foundation for the whole global movement for a culture of peace. We the World has been collaborating with you for many years for Peace Day and in so many other ways as well. So I basically want to express my deep gratitude to you, Avon, for your dedication and commitment and lifelong commitment and all the many ways you have contributed to this movement for peace in our world today that we are all part of, and we are, I guess, standing on your shoulders. You know, it's really important, the work that you've been doing, and I just want to say thank you. And it's been a great pleasure to know you and work with you over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Next is a video from Charles Gibb. The Reverend Canon Charles Gibb is a spiritual leader, writer, speaker, and consultant at Servant Leadership, and was the executive director at the United Religions Initiative, and is now with the Catalyst for Peace Foundation. So Rick Buckley, I'll leave it to you to cue up that video.
Dearest Avon, it is such a gift to get to celebrate you on this day. I want to start by thanking you for so many years, for decades really, of deep spiritual friendship, of being able to see your incredible love of the ultimate, of the divine, of spirit shine through everything you are and do, to see the way you offer your wisdom, your deep experience, your compassion so freely and always in service to others. I know that I personally and URI as an organization have benefited enormously over the years from that. Your contributions to the process of writing URI's charter were immeasurable, and your spirit, your grace, your vision are woven through those words and always will be present in them when I hear them. You have excelled the graciousness and generosity of the gifts you've given, I think only by your always wanting to be in the background and let the spotlight shine on others, a gracious emptying of yourself in complete service. And while that is an enormous gift and has been to so many, I can't tell you how thrilled I am on this day that the spotlight is on you, dear sister. May you continue to thrive and may your light shine for many more years to come. Love and blessings.
Beautifully done. Next is Sanko Banda. And I'm just looking. I don't know whether Masanko is bringing in a video. I'm not seeing him in the list of speakers that are here.
I don't see him there, Karen.
No. Okay. Well, Masanko had, and Avon, do you know whether Masanko is able to join us?
No, I don't. But I think what I'd like to use is this time to speak about him. Excuse me, the tears are just flowing so hard and I'm so deeply touched. Masanko is an extraordinary being whose mother just recently passed, and he, prior to that, had just had an operation on his shoulder, had to go to South Africa for that. And prior to that had COVID. But one of the things I want to say about Masanko is that his father was like the Nelson Mandela of Malawi, spent many long years in prison. And Masanko was sent to the overseas to get his education for his safety and welfare. And one of the young people that I mentored from Thailand brought him to meet me. And when I saw this radiant being, I realized that he was such an old soul. And fast forward is that I was about to go to work in a refugee camp. And so I mentored him, and he took his African music and dance and took the peace building that he had learned and worked with all the generations in that refugee camp in the Albanian area, in the Balkan area. And what he did was that he brought all the different generations and different factions together into one harmonious group, feeling safe, being heard and seen, and giving them a sense that their lives mattered and that their cultures mattered. And he has taught in various schools and places around the world. And he has always brought this beautiful spirit of peace everywhere that he goes. So in this moment, I'd like to honor him and his family, and just may we all send our blessings, to him and to his family.
Yes. Thank you, Avon. Thank you. So many people to honor and so many honorings to weave here of all this remarkable work that has been done to build peace. I'd like to next introduce Dot Maver. Dot is president of the National Peace Academy and executive director of the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building. In addition, an author, educator, and peace builder, inspiring cooperation on behalf of the common good. Dot, let me turn it over to you if I could.
Thank you, Karen. It is a great joy to come together in honor of our dear sister Avon. And Charles, I love what you said. It's about time the spotlight shines on the grace of Avon, as we also acknowledge and celebrate the work of Pathways to Peace. And I also want to acknowledge and thank We the World and Humanity Rising as you collaborate in 2021 to offer these 11 days of global unity, this journey from fear to hope to an expanded audience around the world. That service is deeply appreciated. Avon, you are truly a forerunner and a visionary, as you have offered consistent, selfless service with a focus on peace through group collaboration and deep wisdom over these many years. It was in the early years of the International Day of Peace, Peace Day, that we met. We recognized each other, and we have been in cooperation on behalf of the common good ever since. You see, Avon knows and lives the importance of a vertical alignment while taking a horizontal view. And Avon, you are indeed a wise one, always encouraging a long view, not getting caught in the ups and downs of any given moment in time. Through Pathways to Peace, you have effectively offered a blueprint, a powerful articulation and pathway for the revelation of our time. We are one human family within the one life. So as you, Avon, and Pathways to Peace and the Culture of Peace Initiative continue to offer so much to so many, it is a heartfelt joy to honor your wise, selfless service, your tireless support, inspiration, encouragement, friendship. Gratitude and love abound. Avon, you are a pathway to peace. May the spirit of peace be spread abroad in our hearts, through our groups, and throughout the world. All best wishes, dear Avon, as this remarkable journey continues.
Thank you, Dot. I'd like to next introduce Cynthia Lazaroff. Cynthia is the founder of Nuclear Wake Up Call and Earth and Women Transforming Our Nuclear Legacy program, dedicated to empowering women and girls to build a global movement to abolish nuclear weapons. in addition, a filmmaker, a citizen to track 2 citizen diplomat, and so much more. Cynthia, let me turn it over to you if I may.
Thank you so much, Karen. And I just want to say, dearest Avon, I'm so honored to be here among all those who love and admire you so. You are a shining light for peace in the world and in all of our lives. You say everyone and everything is a pathway to peace. And you say peace is us. Avon, as long as I've known you, peace is you. You brilliantly show us in the way that you live and in the way that you love everyone and everything we hold dear on this earth, what it means to be a pathway to peace. We first met in 1982 during that time of the realization of your remarkable vision from childhood, the blessed gift of the UN International Day of Peace, a vision that you held quietly and tenderly in your heart for so many years, with grace, courage, determination, and extraordinary humility, and with love. And 19 first caught a glimpse of you as a touching hearts, opening minds with peoples across the Soviet Union at the height of the Cold War. On that journey, and for the almost 40 years since, you've been such an inspiration and support to me. And now today, more than ever, with your path-breaking intergenerational work on the TPNW, the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Every time we're together, it's a blessed teaching. It's a joy and privilege to witness the peace that you create around the world, the peace that you embody, the peace that you are. On this day, I join the sacred circle to applaud and cheer you on and say deep bows to you, dear Avon. We thank you, we honor you, we bless you, we cherish you, we love you. May peace prevail on earth. May it be so, dear sister.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia. I'd like to next introduce John Raymer. John is a social entrepreneur and civic leader, inventor, musician, all around wonderful human being and prominent peace builder. And John has also founded the Sign Network, a deep social network, offering insights, strategies, tools, and services that empower members that are changing the world. John, I'm glad you're here with us for this tribute to Avon.
Yeah, no, I wanted to be here. In fact, I asked for the chance to be here because it was so meaningful to me when we started the Compassion Games that there was an International Day of Peace. And I want to recognize there's a hardcore family of peace that's here. And thanks to Ubiquity University and 11 Days of Global Unity through We the World, that we have this opportunity to come together and honor you, Avon. Now, I know that you didn't ask for this, but I bet that you recognize that this would be good for all of us. We as a community at this time, on this solemn day, I mean, it's a miracle to me that 9/11 was an International Day of Peace. And if there ever was a time for us to tighten our bonds and strengthen our community and use this expression of love and authentic recognition to you, Avon, to redouble our efforts, to commit to use the community that we are and that we have become, to make sure that all life on earth and future generations know that there is an everlasting commitment to peace prevailing on earth. I feel honored to be a part of this family, to serve so many here. If it wasn't for you, Deborah and Monica and Dot and Fumi and Pathways to Peace, it has been the foundation upon which I've been able to build my life and my work. So I thank you, Avon, for letting us do this because it's good for us to be able to recognize these extraordinary accomplishments and the persistence and the patience that you hold, and made it possible for us to be here on this day to say, okay, onward humans, peace on earth, may peace prevail on earth. I love you.
Thank you, John. Next, I'd like to welcome Deborah Muldo. The Reverend Deborah is committed to assisting in the transformation of human consciousness that will lead to a culture of peace. And her ministry, her beautiful ministry in international peace work, is a wonderful contribution to today's session. Deborah.
Oh, what a joy it is to honor my beloved mentor, Avon Mattison, along with so many treasured friends and peace builders. Oh, thank you all for organizing this. And I love seeing the collaboration between Humanity Rising and the 11 Days of Global Unity. So it's just perfect and delicious. I was sent to the United Nations in the winter of 1994 to represent the prayer, may peace prevail on earth. And what a privilege that was. But I didn't know anything or anyone. And when I entered the United Nations, I was so fortunate to have the best guide on the planet, Avon Mattison. So Avon took me by the hand and she got me my credentials and she showed me around all of the important places, especially the cafeteria at the Vienna Cafe where most of the work got done. And then she introduced me to all of the people that she wanted me to meet. And what was truly miraculous was that each person simply showed up in front of us. But Avon would tell me about someone and they would appear. And it was like magic. And I learned from Avon, and believe me, this was Avon's home away from home. So she knew the magic of the United Nations. And she taught me that magic and that anything is possible there. And by extension, anything is possible that is done in the spirit of peace. And the other thing that she taught me was about the UN International Day of Peace. And for the next 20 plus years, I worked with many of you on this call, especially Monica and Rick and others, to expand the International Day of Peace, not only among our NGO community at the United Nations, but with the UN system, with the Department of Public Information, now Global Communications, and with people around the world of all faiths, especially through the United Religions Initiative, with schools, with organizations, and with individuals, all focusing on this one day that our beloved Avon helped establish. So this is your legacy, Avon, that the International Day of Peace is now celebrated all over the world. And you can rest on those laurels because they are yours. May peace prevail on.
Thank you, Deborah, for your inspiration. Thank you. The next section of our time together is on the opportunities to continue to work for peace, how we can engage and advance peace. Rick Ulfek, I'd like to turn it back over to you to speak about the 11 Days of Global Unity.
Wow, thank you. And this is just so inspiring to see you all, hear you all. It's just overwhelming almost. Okay, so people can get involved to take action through the 11 campaigns that developed out of the 11 Days of Global Unity, which of course is devoted to and in honor of the International Day of Peace. So the 11 campaigns, I'll just say them quickly so you can get a sense of the scope of it. The 11 campaigns were developed by the launch partners many of you on this call. In particular, I always like to give credit to Monica Willard on that historic conference call where we wanted to do something special in 2011 for 11 days of global unity. And Monica said, 11 days, 11 ways. And that launched this idea of having 11 ways that people can transform their world. And I'll just say what they are. Unity, interdependence, environment, economic justice, health, children and youth, women, human rights, freedom, disarmament, and peace. So there are these 11 ways that people can enter into this whole movement that is creating a world that works for all. And of course, you can get information by going to we.net, directly by going to 11daysofglobalunity.org. The 11 is a numeral. And that's about it. We collaborate with whoever wants to work with us. We've had over 600 organizations that have taken the time to sign up to collaborate on one or more of these 11 campaigns. And it's all about collaboration. And I know that's what has driven Avon for all these decades. It's all about collaboration, and which is the idea of we. So thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I know your work has touched so many, 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 many people, as is true with everyone that's on this call today. It's just remarkable. I'd like to turn it over next to Jim Garrison. I think you all know Jim as the founder of Ubiquity University and Humanity Rising. Jim, let me turn it over to you if I may.
Thank you, Karen. What's occurring to me as I've been just listening to this extraordinary series of affirmations to you, Avon, is a tradition out of the Jewish lineage of wisdom that at any given time in the world, there are 36 just people. And if there's any less than 36 just people, the world deconstructs. And God looks down to ensure the continuity of life out of the integrity of heart of just a small, very obscure, hidden, but completely committed group of human beings that don't necessarily even know each other. And according to the tradition, often don't even know that they are one of the just, but they are. And I think on behalf of all of us, I would like to just say this tradition lives in you, and it is an inspiration for all of us. Well, what we're doing at Ubiquity and through Humanity Rising as we take in the recent reports of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the Secretary General now saying that we are in code red for humanity, is that we are giving rise, not just Ubiquity and Humanity Rising, but hundreds of organizations around the world are giving rise to the Global Regeneration Corps as an opportunity and in an intergenerational way, focused on our young people to really begin at this moment of critical urgency, I would say, when we are literally on the precipice. And it's clear that in the face of rising ecological turbulence all around, touching all of us, that our governments are less and less capable of ensuring stability. So we're coming together to build an Indra's net of regeneration, pods of what we're calling regeneration first responders. And so we want to dedicate all of our efforts, Avon, to the same purity of heart that you have so beautifully embodied for many, many decades. And we're launching scholarships that we would like during this 11 days of global unity to dedicate to you as just an offering of thanks to the justice and the purity of your heart. Rick will be announcing the first one in a moment, and every single day we'll announce another recipient in the name of Avon Mattison for the construction of this Indra's net of regeneration that will hopefully ensure the survival and the thriving of humanity into the future.
Would you like me to announce the name of the recipient?
Sure.
Okay. Today's recipient to open the 11 days and be the first recipient. I think it's symbolic that the first recipient is an angel. Her name is Angel Fullerton, and she does so many things for We the World. She's the Chief Operating Officer for We the World and the We Campaign, and she is the owner of greenwomanstore.com. She has a BA in business management, and she is passionate about uplifting grassroots movements and supporting female entrepreneurship as a vital effort in creating a world that works for all. With several years' experience in the behavioral and mental health fields, she has a keen interest in healing the inherent causes of global crises. Angel is deeply grateful for this opportunity that Ubiquity University has created for her and all the scholarship recipients in the name and as a tribute to Avon Mattison. So thank you.
And just so everybody knows, the scholarship actually will be for our Masters in Regenerative Action. We have reinvented the MBA. We can no longer do business administration as usual. We need to regenerate the world. So this is a scholarship for our Masters in Regenerative Action. If any of you listening to this program are interested in our program, please be in touch. Go to our website on ubiquityuniversity.org, and you'll see right on the homepage, right at the top, the Masters in Regenerative Action. So thank you, Rick. Thank you.
And also part of some of the scholarships are also in peace and tolerance. So I just want to mention that too, because that one is the one that Angel is doing. But so it's actually two. It's peace and tolerance as well as regenerative action. Thank you,
Yes.
Jim.
Thank you, Rick.
The inspiration just keeps coming. Thank you, Jim, for creating this scholarship, and Rick for creating the scholarship and for honoring in this way. And this Masters of Regenerative Action is just a remarkable program that will definitely empower youth and anyone who takes it to bring peace on earth. Thank you. I'd like to next introduce Barbara Mueller. Barbara is a internationally known peace scholar, advocate, activist, author, and inspirational speaker. Barbara's enthusiasm for peace is contagious. So Barbara, I'm going to turn this over to you if I may.
Thank you so much. I'm unable to bring my photo up, but I'm able to give you the words of Robert Mueller. You know, I'm looking at a horde of angels. All of you are earth angels now. Now they've asked me to unmute. Okay, I have my video now done. I hope, there we go. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Avon, for being who you are. When Robert asked me to marry him, I felt like I was entering a new world. And then I met Avon, and I thought, Avon, if you are here, I'm joining you. And she said, welcome, sister. And that day was the day that I said I would marry Robert. Marrying Robert was a 17-year trip around the world. I'm going to cry, speaking for peace, because today when I saw the beautiful photos that Joni brought to us, I saw the people who made Robert happy, the people who kept him going, and he never lost his faith or his hope for the peace that we can have on the world. And he said to me, and he said to Avon, in fact, I think she was the first one that heard this poem, decide to be peaceful. It is a decision. Render others peaceful. Be a model of peace. Irradiate your peace. Love passionately. The peace already on our beautiful planet. Do not listen to warmongers, hate seekers, power seekers. Dream always of a peaceful world. Work always with a peaceful heart and world. Switch on and keep on in yourself those positive buttons that marked love, serenity, happiness, truth, kindness, friendliness, understanding, and tolerance. Pray and thank God every day for the peace that you are bringing to the world. Pray for the United Nations and all peacemakers. Pray for the leaders of all nations who hold the peace of the world in their hands. Pray for the leaders that we know can bring peace to our planet. Pray God to let our planet of long last become a planet of peace. And sing in unison, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Robert told me in 2010, right before he passed, that he was going to whisper in the ears of all leaders of our planet, that this is our time to bring peace to our planet. And as I watch each of you today give a tribute to beautiful Avon, who represents so much of what we all hope everyone can possess, the love and the spirit of peace. With that, I say thank you. And if you want a copy of this poem, it's on peacepodcast.org. And if you want to hear Robert's harmonica, let there be peace on earth, and go to peacepodcast.org. And I see David Wicks sitting next to me. God bless David, and God bless you, Avon. Thank you.
David, please go ahead.
Well, what a total delight. And this is truly a milestone, being together and absolutely honoring Avon. And you know, I've been with Pathways and Avon and Joni since 1980, from the very beginning and founding of Pathways to Peace and the evolution of the International Day of Peace and the focus on the culture of peace and all the leading work that we've done over the many, many years. And Avon has been the heart, the glue, the entity that we've all been attracted to. Here we are. It's a milestone, all of us coming together today. And it's very meaningful to just show the intention of peace and peace building and moving forward and evolving. And that's one thing. And Avon is the mild-mannered peace builder, but as we all know, she's a powerful force. If she focuses on something, it happens. And so my evolution was with Pathways to Peace in the early 80s, as I mentioned. I moved to Ashland, Oregon, and here came to be with Irene Kai, my lady partner, and we created, based on the work of Pathways to Peace over these many years, we created the Ashland Culture of Peace Commission to ground the focus of a culture of peace in a city, in a community. What does that look like? Using the Pathways to Peace Peace Wheel as a symbol of what in the many different forms and sectors to work together. That took place. Then I was invited by Barbara Mueller to speak at the Rotary E-Club of World Peace. I'm going, wow, that's really cool. So I spoke. I was invited to join, which I did. And then I was invited to be, now I'm the president of the Rotary E-Club of World Peace. And this is an incredible opportunity that we're talking about now of moving forward. So this is the Rotary E-Club of World Peace. Rotary has 1.2 million members, 35,000 clubs around the world in over 200 countries and territories. And this is, again, the Pathways to Peace work is now evolving and influencing the peace building in Rotary. Just as an example, yesterday I received the information that an article that Ava and I wrote was published in Rotary Voices. It's a Rotary International blog that goes all over the world. And the theme of it is Rotary members behind the International Day of Peace. So it is evolving more and more. Many of our members have joined. If you're interested, Rotary eClub of World Peace.org. This is part of the frontier of moving all the more the culture of peace. Thank you, and I'm delighted to be with you all. Thank you.
David, thank you for your good work over all these years. David and I have known each other that long as well. This is so much fun to weave all of us together today. Tez, let me turn this over to you.
Hello. Yes, I'm Tezakaya Gabriel. I'm the executive director of Pathways to Peace. Most folks call me Tez. Oh, I am just so incredibly honored to be here honoring our beloved Avon, and just deep, deep gratitude to you, Karen and Richard, Rick, Alfic, Ubiquity University. Oh my goodness. It's just amazing. And Rick, when you opened and talked about the inspiration of from fear to hope, and now I'd like to say from hope to extreme joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've talked about the fact that this is the 40th anniversary of the resolution, the UN resolution for Peace Day, but it's also that we are entering into the 40th year of service for Pathways to Peace. And I am announcing today the launch of the Avon Mattison Scholarship Fund. Excuse me. And the Scholarship Fund is dedicated to bringing youth to the United Nations. As most of you know, we have UN youth representatives to the United Nations, and it's often a hardship for those youth to travel to the United Nations. And so this scholarship fund is really to get their voices heard on that global platform, which we so need as we move forward to create a new earth. And when I announced this to Avon, she was in tears and had angel bumps, as she says. There is no greater tribute to Avon than continuing the work that she has been so dedicated to. And so I am going to put my, my email address in the chat if you would like to contact me and to either ask questions about the scholarship fund or to contribute. We would absolutely love to talk with you. And of course, in the spirit of advancing the work, as we've talked about throughout our time, there are so many opportunities to really get engaged, and to get engaged not only in peace locally and globally, but with the International Day of Peace. So please do look at the opportunities surrounding you, either in your own communities or it coming through your email box to get engaged, because we are all pathways to peace. So with that, it's just my pleasure speaking about incredible youth at the UN to turn my time over to Renor Johnny. And Renor is one of our UN representatives to the UN. He is also the Pathways to Peace representative to ICANN and serves on the Youth Advisory Committee of the Department of Global Communications. And Renor had a hard time coming in, so he's arrived. So Renor, I am going to end my time and turn it over to you. So come on in.
Thank you so much, Hezekiah. Thank you, everyone. Hello, my name is Renor, and I am a Pathways to Peace representative to the UN and to ICAN, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. And I'd like to express my infinite gratitude for the impact that Miss Avon Mattison has had on my life and professional work. She is a remarkable beacon of divine cosmic light in the world. And she is one of the few people in my life that understands me without needing to use many words. It's really rare when you get to work with someone like that. And Avon has such a unique ability to speak to a person's heart and soul. And in my opinion, it is a beautiful and rare gift that she has mastered. So I have been blessed to be supported by her gift and wisdom. What I love about Avon is that she has consistently supported me in doing the work that my soul feels called to do. And there are certain people you meet in this world who profoundly inspire others, like Avon. And for this and everything else, I am eternally grateful to you with all my heart and soul. So thank you, Avon, and thank you for believing in the younger generations. Thank you for always supporting us and believing in us, because your faith and belief in us helps us to continue the work of peace building in this world. I thank you. I thank you eternally.
Thank you, Renor. I'm so glad you could join us this morning. Whew, this has been a very full weaving that we have done together here. I'd like to say thank you to you all personally, and close with the recognition that peace is both an innate state of being as well as this dynamic evolutionary process, that when we step into peace, our natural growth can occur, our natural place of evolution and creation that is in harmony, that is regenerative, can flourish. And may we all continue to find that place of peace and the actions that come from it, and the connections and relationships that come from it, on behalf of the children of this and future generations, so that they could inherit the better world and even ensure a radiant future for them and their children. Avon, I'd love to turn it over to you now for your thank you, or whatever it is you'd like to say to close.
Avon, you're muted.
Thank you. Every one of you has touched my heart so deeply, and the tears are flowing. My heart is overflowing. But as I said in the beginning, each of you has inspired me and continues to do so. There are really no words to express how much I am deeply touched, not only by what you've said, but just by the privilege of being with each of you, allowing me to work alongside you, and to know that we are all sharing the same purpose, but each of us has our different facets to bring to it. So we really were and really are a sacred circle, acting in concert with one another. And I just wish that we could have an entire day where I could then honor every single one of you and tell you how much you were touching my life. And I also just, again, want to quote Chief Hereditary Chief Phil Lane. You know, when we harm one, we harm all, but to honor one is to honor all. So I honor each and every one of you. And I especially want to thank Karen and Richard and Jim for having this program and for dedicating the scholarships in my name. I think that touches me so deeply, knowing that they're going to provide for those who ordinarily couldn't even have access to this program. And I just could say something just about each of you, but Richard, you are another one who's behind the scenes, and that when you speak with such wisdom and clarity, and you express the power of peace in a very potent way. And Karen, what you teach and your intergenerational work and your work with women and just all the spectrum of what you do it with so much authenticity that people get a direct transmission, as well as the information, as well as experience your beautiful heart. And one day I look forward to skipping again with you. And Jim, you're in a category that is, you're one of the most brilliant people that I've ever known. You always honor the brilliance of everyone else. But the reason that you have so many contacts in the over 800 interviews that have been conducted with Humanity Rising is that you know almost all of these people, they all respect you. And when you pick up the phone or send them an email, say, would you like to be on this program? Everyone is just so delighted to be involved with anything that you do. I remember that from our years together with the State of the World Forum. You have this brilliance, expansive wisdom and knowledge. You can speak on almost any subject with authority and depth, but it's always comes from that place of wisdom that can only be centered in the divine and expressed through the heart. And what you have created and co-created with your team, with this extremely important evolution of the Peace Corps to the regenerative Peace Corps, is just exactly what is needed. Is what I spoke of at the beginning. There comes a time when a divine idea is meant to come to humanity that is going to help change the course of history and wake everyone up to what everyone's true gift is, so that they can give that gift, but knowing that they are part of a larger purpose and helping to change the course of history, which is one of violence and the illusion of separation, to one of a very diverse, inclusive, regenerative, restorative culture of peace that is going to benefit all circles of life and future generations. So a deep bow to each of you, and just, just so grateful. Thank you. May peace prevail on earth, and may the spirit of peace prevail in all of our hearts and throughout the world.
Thank you, Avon. Jim, let me turn it over to you, and Rick Ulfric and Sharon to wrap us up here.
Thank you, Karen, for your extraordinarily capable moderation today that kept us all included and on time. Avon, we salute you with an open heart as we continue with Humanity Rising and build a global regeneration core, partner with the Sign Network and partner with We the World in 11 Days of Global Unity. It is the spirit that you embody, that inspires us all and gives us the strength and unity of purpose to accomplish great things in an increasingly turbulent world. So we wanted to start with you because you and your light point the way. So thank you. Rick?
Yes, and thank you again. This has been so amazing and so wonderful to be with you all, and especially you, Avon. And we're going to make a transition now to the next session, which is also on the subject of unity. And to help us make that transition, I want to bring in Sharon Ria, who is the coordinator of We the World's Campaign for Unity. She works as a life and family coach and as executive communications trainer, and she is the founder of the global movement called No Judgment, Just Love. So welcome, Sharon Ria. Do you want to give us a little bit of a taste of what's coming up at the next session that we're going to be doing just in a few minutes? And you are muted.
First, thank you, Rick, and thank you, everyone. I'd love to express my extreme gratitude. It's very seldom that you get to meet living history. And Avon, just meeting you and hearing how you have brought light to the world through all of these wonderful people that have spoken about their interaction with you is a blessing for me today. I'm so glad I woke up, and I'm so glad I've met you. Coming up next is with We the World, and Unity gets to begin our 11 days of global unity. I'm honored to be the coordinator for that campaign. And in the spirit of From Fear to Hope, with the first day, Unity, I am asking a very different question. Obviously, with reverence for everyone who was affected and impacted by 20 years ago, the 9/11 event. But I'm going to take us from fear to hope by asking the question and hoping people will engage with us. And the question is, can we become united without a catastrophic event like 9/11? I know my answer is absolutely yes. But I'm intrigued to hear others because we've had many people that say an emphatic no. So please join us on the We Campaign Facebook page where we will be live and we'll answer that question. And prior to that, we have a pre-recording with a very special honored guest. Her name is Audrey Kitagawa. She's the president and founder of the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation. And she was a former aide to the United Nations Secretary General for Children and Armed Conflict at the United Nations. And she's got some beautiful words for us to hear. So thank you for having me and enjoy. Have a wonderful day. I am on the pathways to peace.
Thank you. And people can actually also attend that just by however you are watching and hearing this right now. It's going to be exactly the same at 1 p.m. Eastern time today, September 11th. So just so you know that. And I guess, is that it, Karen?
Yes, I believe that it is, Rick. I think we have closed and concluded for today. Jim, unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, we're finished with this inaugural session, everyone. And Karen kept us to time. That's quite a feat, Ms. Buckley.
Well, thank you to everyone, absolutely everyone. It allowed us to weave all the voices together. Quite extraordinary.
We love you, Avon.
We love
you. Can we take a minute of silence together as we close? It's not quite 1 o'clock yet.
Well, we're allowing a little time for those that are right back on again at 1.
Okay.
So just a breath together in silence. Thank you. Be well.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Peace prevail on earth. Thank you. Thank you.
For the blessing.
Richard, and thank you, Karen. You did a marvelous job today. And Rick, how can we ever thank you for all you've done? There's so much joy in my heart as I look at Deborah, Joni, Marilyn, Monica. You all have brought a pathways to peace. And Avon, look at all the people you've touched, my dear. Do you know that my heart is so full because of what you've done? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beautiful. And one of the things I've always said and talked about, even and also Pathways to Peace, is that Pathways to Peace is the mothership. And here we are.
Beautiful.
Mothership and the wind beneath our wings. You know, we fly with peace. Our destiny is open. And even I think you said that so many times, that our destiny is part of the peace puzzle. If we are at peace, we can live our destiny, and that's all we want. We just want our destiny to shine. And you've done it, Avon. You're such a model of destiny, illuminated. And thank you. And Karen, you were marvelous today. I can't thank you enough. You brought so much joy to all of us.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Karen.
I'm looking at Monica and I'm thinking, how did you let wonderful people?
Barbara, I'm going to let Rick Ulfric and all the others that are back on again in 10 minutes.
Yes.
You're all so beautiful, and
Thank you, everyone.
so
Blessings
rich.
to 11 days of global unity. Our love goes with you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. Blessings, Avon.
Until another.